Yeah. Did my mom say this first of all?
No.
She didn't say that? No. I would say I identify as a mama's boy. I call my mom several times a day. So right now, I'm a fourth year student at Northeastern University. I study international affairs and political science. I would say my identities as an academic, as a friend, and as a family member are my main driving forces behind my life today. I think that just about every action that I do in my everyday life is dictated by one of those three things. Um, is that good? My grandfather and six generations before him had gone to Harvard, did extremely well there. So I always grew up looking at their old yearbooks, knowing that I wanted like a seat at the table that is like higher education. I was already planning on what colleges I wanted to go to in middle school. I mean, obviously there are pipe dreams because you don't know what you want to study, you don't know where you want to be living in at the age of 12 or 13, but it was just a topic that was on my mind. But also, my sister being diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD, I always felt like I never had the same barriers that she had to struggle with, and that I really had no excuse other than to excel. Um, I I'm privileged to not have any sort of learning disability, and that I should really take it upon myself to do as best as I can. I think my main and initial opposition to going to Winchester High was that it was right down the street from my house. Um, Quite literally a 30-second walk. So I just felt like, oh, I don't know, because a lot of people would be like fine with that. A lot of people would be like, oh, that's convenient. Like that's not. It's not really why I didn't go.
Neither of my kids really got immersed in the whole Winchester community. He says he struggled in this town with friends because it's a very cliquey town.
I always felt like I, was behind years in terms of getting close to these guys as they already were with each other.
It was a tough um, break, I think, for him to get into the circle of friends that he wanted to be in. And that's why he looked to go elsewhere. And then he decided he wanted to go to a boarding school, which was an adjustment for me, but it was only 35 minutes away and it was an incredible school.
Middlesex was my top choice through and through. I knew that that's the campus I wanted to be on, in the classes I wanted to take, the community that I wanted to be a part of. So come March 10th, 2015, I was accepted and knew that I was going to start my journey there.
I was happy for him because it was a really hard school to get into, and I think that really boosted the confidence he needed in himself.
It took me going to a campus with, I think it was like 17% international students, but hearing their backgrounds, their stories, was all really eye opening because it really globalized my perspective of just what everything is.
It was like new for all of us in this little bubble of a town. My mom grew up here, I grew up here, and then all of a sudden Tyler's in this school and kids from all over the world, not even just the country, but the world. It was like eye opening for everybody. The first month of school, it was funny. I was sleeping, and 11 o'clock, I get a call asking if he could go to Antarctica with a friend. And I was like, if this is how this is going to go, Gary, we're going to really struggle. But that's the kind of world it was. That's a true story. I'm like, my car is started. I'm coming to your dorm now. He was like, relax.
I think being surrounded by so many successful people made me really want to focus on my career versus the other options in life. And also the level of wealth that I was surrounded by at Middlesex made me really want to aspire to, never have a dead end when it came to a possible salary in the future, and just to get as many accomplishments as I can to have this resume to get whatever job I may want in the future, just so I never have any regrets.
He's kind of been prepping me for this. And I kept listening and kind of putting it on the back burner, like, oh, maybe he'll change his mind. Oh, maybe he'll change his mind. He's not going to go across the world and whatever, but that's not happening. So
I would say my dream job someday would be to work at a U.S. embassy in a big city abroad. I really don't have many barriers on that. I would be happy working in really any continent. Um, I'm just really interested in representing the United States abroad.
I think he set bars for himself that he wants to achieve, which I do think is great. I don't like when he says he has to prove himself to everybody, has a high expectation of him. He's like, I went to a great school, I've had all the experience, you guys have given me everything I need. I feel like I need to do something with it.
I would truly be disappointed in myself if I don't achieve a lot of the stuff that I'm looking to, that I'm aspiring to. Um, and that's just who I am.
But that doesn't mean you need to, I don't know, leave and go across the world to prove that you can be this. I mean, he's incredibly smart. He's polished. You talk to him, he has a different level of conversations than most people in my family. Like, yes, I see a lot of Tyler, myself in him, which is that's what's scary for me. I could have probably been the person. I don't know as intense as him going to countries. I don't know. My daughter went to Japan by herself too. I don't think I could have ever done that like they do. Um, but I definitely would have been somebody that was outside the box. And then I ended up having Victoria at 19, which probably curbed my whole entire life, changed the whole trajectory for me. I don't know, because Victoria, my kids, raised the same way, lived in the same household, vacationed the same way. She's more of a homebody, um, wants to be more domesticated, get married, have kids at a young age, where Tyler is, on a career path and figure that stuff. He's just very determined and on a straight path for himself. He has this way about him that everything he does has to be the best or the best he can do, which is a competitive edge that he feels like he needs to prove himself to everybody, and he only needs to prove it to him. We have these talks all the time.
I think I'm constantly looking at my life through the lens of chain reactions, if that makes any sense. Where I just see each move I make really affecting my future.
I don't even plan my day anymore because it changes by the hour. So I've learned to kind of roll with it like that. And I think he needs to learn that too. That it might not pan out exactly the way you're planning. And that's okay.
When it comes to the bar that I find myself having to get to truly succeed, I just truly don't know what that looks like at this point, and I think that's part of what keeps me driven.
The bar keeps getting set, and then he gets to that level, and then he sets another. So
I think my mom and I actually have more similar goals of my own professional career than we think.
I just hope that everything Tyler thinks that he's going to do, it's okay if you don't.
I want to have a really impressive job in the United States in international affairs,
You can take a right or a left. You don't have to do that, or like it's the end of the world.
but I feel like I'm competing with so many other people who want that same position that I do have to prove myself and do these impressive things abroad and gain this expertise to finally come back here and feel accomplished and feel like I can, actually do these jobs.
But not at the expense of losing my kid. Because you've always been here. We've always been like a unit, and to break up the unit's tough for me.
So it's a balancing act of what I want versus what she wants. Do you want me to say that like eloquently for the camera?
One thing about Tyler, he globally cares about people, about humanity and everything, and I think that's so great. And I must be very small minded because my goal in life is my family, right? So do the most you can for your kids, work, take care of your family. And Tyler takes it to that next step of take care of everybody else, right? When it's teaching me that that's probably how it should be. But in my world is take care of your family first. Charity starts at home. So we have a little struggle there. And that's something that I have to deal with on my own. Um,
So as an international affairs major, my future is really uncertain. I mean, my professional career could be dictated by, future crises, wars, famines, whatever might need the most attention could be what a lot of people in international affairs want to focus on at that time. And I would say one of my biggest professional slash academic goals right now is to just situate myself for a future where I can work on issues that are important to me, such as like human rights abuses or um, yeah, just cut it off after he.
Follow your dreams. I would never. Do I love his major? No, but it's not my major, and I need to deal with that. He needs to do what he loves to do. Yes, I want my kids to be happy in what they do, and if that means Tyler's going to be happy, traipsing all over the world and doing his thing, just don't forget your family. Don't forget we're here. Um, I know he'll do great whatever he does because it's what he does, but I wish him all the best. I just have to figure it out on my own.
Thank you, just for being so understanding, for giving me all these privileges, and just allowing me to really pursue exactly what I want.